doing well today. So we are continuing our conversation from in chapter 1. This is part 2, and we're talking more about growing as a professional in the field of physical education, exercise science, and sport, or kinesiology. Here we go. So our field and every specialized area within it is constantly evolving. There are new discoveries, technologies, and strategies that are emerging all the freaking time. As professionals, it's essential that we commit to lifelong learning. That means actively seeking out both scientific research and practitioner-based knowledge that can improve and inform our practice. Whether you're working with students, clients, or athletes, it's your ethical responsibility to stay up to date. Why? Because doing so ensures that the instruction and guidance you provide is accurate, effective, and grounded in the most current understanding available. In short, staying current isn't optional. It's part of being a trusted professional in this field. As we've seen, our field is broad, it's dynamic, and deeply interconnected. Whether you're passionate about teaching, training, research, rehabilitation, or leadership, there are diverse career paths across the disciplines of physical education, exercise science, and sport. So let's explore some of the most popular and emerging opportunities. And just because it's not here doesn't mean that it's not a possibility. So first, and probably one you're most familiar with, is physical education and pedagogy. The career paths are a PE teacher, K through 12, a health and wellness coach. This could be remote or online, as well as in person. A curriculum developer, adapted physical education specialist, if you have a heart for those who have special needs. A youth program director at a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club. These roles focus on promoting lifelong physical activity, teaching motor skills, and supporting holistic youth development. Exercise science and kinesiology. The career paths are exercise physiologist. This could be in a clinical setting or it could be performance-based with sports primarily. A cardiac rehabilitation specialist, where you're working with people who've had a heart bypass or angioplasty, a heart attack. And so it would be more in a clinical type setting, a hospital setting where you're checking their blood pressure, making sure that they're doing okay. A strength and conditioning coach, and this can be in different realms. It could be in the school system, but could also be a private performance-based organization. A personal trainer and corporate wellness coordinator, where you're going out to the corporation and helping them with their employees so that they are well to cut back on their insurance costs. And a research assistant or laboratory technician with Dr. Snar or Dr. Appelquist in biomechanics or exercise physiology. This discipline is ideal if you are interested in the science behind the movement and health outcomes, with opportunities again in clinical and athletic settings. Sports medicine and athletic training. Career paths are a certified athletic trainer. There are different types of certification. There's the Texas State certification, but also the Board of Certification Athletics, so it's a national certification. There's also physical therapy aide or technician, a physical therapist, chiropractic assistant or chiropractor, a rehabilitation specialist, or an orthopedic clinic assistant. These are focused on injury prevention, treatment, and recovery. These careers often involve collaboration with healthcare providers, schools, or professional teams. Sport, biomechanics, and motor behavior. Career paths are biomechanics researcher or analyst. So they utilize motion capture, and there's a specialist for that as well. So a motion capture specialist, and then you analyze the movement and determine if you need to do something different or how can we make that better. A product design consultant for footwear or sports equipment. You could work for Nike or Adidas. And a human performance analyst. These roles apply engineering, physics, and anatomy to human movement and are found in research labs, universities, or sports tech companies. So you could work for Nike. Sport and exercise psychology. So this would be if you're interested in becoming a sports psychologist. It does require advanced degree or licensure, typically a master's or doctorate, as well as a certification. A mental performance consultant, motivational coach or counselor, and behavioral health support in fitness or rehab settings. So careers here are focused on the mental side of performance and motivation, helping athletes and everyday exercisers build resilience and focus. Sport management. If you're interested in being an athletic director at a school or college, that would be something you'd be interested in. Sports marketing or promotions manager. An event coordinator, where you are coordinating marathons, tournaments, leagues, whatever it is. A facility or recreation center manager. A ticketing or sponsorship manager for either a pro or minor league team. So this would be where sport meets the business. You'll utilize planning, communication, and leadership skills to organize programs and manage budgets and grow organizations. Allied and emerging fields. These are health educator or recreational therapist, dance instructor or movement therapist, outdoor recreation specialist, or a community health advocate. So these careers bridge physical activity with wellness, inclusion, and community development, often outside of traditional gym or sports settings. Now, there are additional pathways that often require graduate study. This would be a doctorate in physical therapy or a DPT, an occupational therapist or OTR, physician assistant or PA, a public health professional or MPH. That would be a master's in public health professional. A university professor or academic researcher usually requires a PhD or a doctorate in education. If you're aiming for clinical research or academic leadership roles, graduate education will open these doors and help with your bottom dollar. It helps in providing opportunities at different levels. And so no matter what path you choose, this field offers the chance to make a real impact on health, performance, education, and equity. Reading and understanding research is a critical skill for professionals in our field. Let's break down the different types you'll encounter and how they impact your work. Scientific research provides data to explain phenomena. So, for example, a published study in the Journal of Applied Physiology measures how high-intensity interval training affects VO2 max in college athletes over 8 weeks. This kind of research uses controlled methods to gather measurable results and often informs national health guidelines and training protocols. Practitioner-based research informs day-to-day practice. For example, a high school PE teacher tracks how daily mindfulness activities impact student participation and focus during class and presents the findings at a local education conference. This type of research is grounded in real-world settings and helps practitioners adapt their strategies based on direct observation and experience. Quantitative research, it's all about the numbers, statistics, and measurable data. For example, a researcher surveys 500 gym goers and analyzes the statistical relationship between frequency of visits and BMI changes over 6 months. So quantitative research helps us identify patterns, test hypotheses, and generalize findings to larger populations. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is about words and stories and images as well as personal experiences. For example, a sports psychologist interviews female athletes to understand their emotional experiences after returning from a major injury. Your qualitative research gives voice to individual experiences and helps us explore how and why behind the behavior, motivation, and change. In all cases, engaging with both types of research and both scientific and practitioner-based perspectives allows us to grow, stay current, and ethically support those we serve with the best possible knowledge and practice. In today's digital world, the internet is often our first stop for research, but not all web sources are created equal. As professionals and students in physical education, exercise science, or sport management, we need to think critically about the information we find online. So here are some key questions to ask when evaluating a website. Who is the author or organization behind the content? Is the information produced by a credible expert, university, government agency, or professional organization? Be cautious of anonymous blogs, personal opinions, or content with no listed credentials. Your bro science. What is the purpose of the site? Is it meant to inform, sell, entertain, or persuade? If it's selling a product or pushing an agenda, the information is most likely biased. Is the information current? Look at publication or update dates. And health and fitness research changes fast, so outdated content may no longer be valid. Is the information supported by evidence? Reliable sources means cite peer-reviewed studies, statistics, or official guidelines. If claims sound too good to be true or lack references, they probably are. Does the site have ads or pop-ups that distract or pressure you? And professional sites prioritize clarity and quality. If it feels like clickbait, it probably is. As a future leader in your field, being able to critique the web means you are protecting yourself and those you serve from misinformation and legal action. So always ask, is this trustworthy, accurate, and backed by real evidence? Technology is essential in modern professional life. It helps us to stay current with developments, communicate and collaborate, teach, assess, and research more effectively, and provides access to professional development and to share ideas. Tech is not just a tool, it's a bridge for growth. Social justice plays a vital role in our field. We must ensure equal access to physical activity for everyone, regardless of identity or background. It's also important to value all forms of activity, not just competitive sports, walking, yoga, dance. These are equally valid ways to stay active. Social justice is the concept of creating a fair and equitable society in which all individuals, regardless of their background, identity, or circumstances, have equal access to opportunities, resources, and rights. In the context of physical activity, sport, and health, social justice means ensuring that everyone, regardless of race, gender, identity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, ability, or age, has the opportunity to participate in and benefit from physical activity. Removing barriers such as cost, discrimination, or lack of facilities that prevent some individuals from being active. Valuing diverse forms of movement, not just competitive or traditional sports. It's not just about fairness, it's about taking action to correct imbalances and make meaningful changes that improve the quality of life for all. To truly increase physical activity levels in our communities and reduce chronic and hypokinetic diseases, we must take an inclusive approach, one that values every person, regardless of their background or identity. That means making sure physical activity opportunities are available and accessible to all individuals, including those of different gender identities, racial and ethnic backgrounds, sexual orientations, physical or cognitive abilities, socioeconomic statuses, and age groups. When we create spaces where everyone feels welcome and supported, we improve not only health outcomes, but also community connectedness and equity. As future professionals, understanding someone's social identity profile helps us in promoting inclusive and equitable programming. It avoids assumptions or biases and addresses barriers to participation. It helps us in designing culturally responsive, adaptive, and respectful instruction or services. For example, this gives an example of a social identity profile of a high school student athlete. And so the social identity would be their ethnicity, if they were Latino, their gender identity would be non-binary, their socioeconomic status would be low-income household, their ability, they have asthma, language would be Spanish-speaking household, their religion might be Catholic, and their sexual orientation may be gay. Immigration status would be a U.S. citizen where their parents are immigrants. This student may face challenges such as limited access to equipment, language barriers, or feeling unsafe in a gendered space. Understanding their profile allows a coach, teacher, or trainer to create a safe and supportive environment. Sewers and Hall in 2019 explored the concept of systems of meaning as the framework through which individuals and communities interpret their experiences in the world around them. These systems are composed of shared beliefs, values, narratives, and cultural norms that shape how people make sense of events, behaviors, and identities. What stands out in their work is the emphasis on how these systems are not static but are dynamic and deeply embedded in social context. They influence interactions, power relations, and even the development of self-identity. For example, in educational settings, students and teachers operate within distinct systems of meaning that impact our communication, expectations, and learning outcomes. One critical takeaway is that recognizing these symptoms can help educators, leaders, and practitioners better understand their perspectives and behaviors of those they work with. By appreciating the different meaning worlds, it becomes possible to foster empathy, inclusivity, and culturally responsive practices. Furthermore, Sewers and Hall highlight the role of systems of meaning in conflict and misunderstanding. When individuals or groups operate from divergent meaning systems without awareness or respect for the other's framework, misinterpretations and tensions arise. Reflecting on this, it is clear that developing cultural competence involves more than acquiring knowledge. It requires an ongoing process of listening, questioning, and adapting to multiple systems of meaning. This insight is particularly relevant in our increasingly diverse societies where collaboration across difference is essential. Overall, Sewers and Hall's treatment of systems of meaning encourages a deeper awareness of the lenses through which we view the world and the importance of dialogue and bridging those lenses for more meaningful connection and social justice. Establishing a critical perspective means going beyond surface level information. It's about questioning, analyzing, and reflecting on what we do and why we do it. In our field, the best way to develop this perspective is through scientific-based research. Why? Because research gives us evidence, not just opinions or trends, to guide our practice. For example, a coach who understands the latest research on concussion protocols can better protect players. A physical educator who uses research-based instructional strategies will engage students more effectively. And a sport manager informed by data on fan behavior can make smarter marketing decisions. In all cases, research helps you make informed, ethical, and effective decisions, ones that directly impact the health, performance, and well-being of your clients, athletes, employees, or students. So as you move forward in your studies and your career, remember critical thinking plus scientific evidence is what sets a good professional apart from a great one. And here, what is one issue of social justice you think needs to be addressed? relative to your career path within the field and or the other 12 disciplines. And so here in the picture, you can see sports sociologists study the behavior in sport and the coaches and fans, as well as the impact on others. So now let's talk about current trends and moving forward into the future. The field of exercise physiology is growing in demand, especially as more people seek personalized fitness and health interventions. Exercise physiologists are now working in clinical settings alongside doctors to help manage conditions like heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. Sports medicine and athletic training. They work with increased awareness of injury prevention and mental health in athletes. This field is evolving fast, and athletic trainers now serve not just teams, but also industrial workplaces, military units, and performing arts organizations. And sport management, from esports to mega events like the Olympics, managing the business side of sport requires marketing, finance, and event operations skills. Sport managers are leading in areas like brand partnerships, facility design, and fan engagement. And with this growth comes a clear trend. Advanced degrees are becoming the standard for many positions in these disciplines. Whether you are pursuing a role in research, teaching at the college level, working in clinical settings, or managing large-scale programs, a master's degree or doctorate is increasingly expected. The future of this field belongs to those who are not only skilled but also adaptable, interdisciplinary thinkers who are committed to ongoing education. We must address the ongoing decline in physical activity, especially due to limited access. However, with smart policy, research, and program design, we can promote healthier lifestyles and longer life expectancy. We're building the future one step, one person at a time. And this just some resources for you. It's the link for the United States Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the American College of Sports Medicine and the PHE American Newsletter. These are great resources, but they're not all. So you want to make sure that you are staying abreast on the research that is out there, the newsletters, watching and listening, and podcasts, but make sure that the information that you're getting is from reputable sources and not just bro science. So, in summary today, social justice requires access and equity in all physical activity spaces. And there are current trends that include interdisciplinary growth, expanding our career fields, and focus on improving global physical activity levels. And that is all that I have for you today. I look forward to talking with you again. We'll be going into Chapter 2 next. Have a great day.